We will be able to manufacture vaccines because we're already manufacturing vaccines for another for Johnson and Johnson. So we will be able to. The French have got GlaxoSmithKline and Sanofi, who are looking into partnering with South African companies. So we will be able to. But that's not the main topical point in these discussions, in my view. My view is that energy and security matters are the main reason why the French came.
And unpack that a little bit for us, especially starting with the energy part of the conversation. Of course, we know that it's a big topic of discussion when it comes to any form of energy within the country, let alone electricity.
You will remember that in the energy plan, nuclear is still part of the deal. And so the French, through the company Areva, supplied the nuclear reactor for Koeberg. And they are looking into getting in or on the next, in our next nuclear program. They would want to keep the Russians and be the ones that supply the nuclear reactor. Yeah.
And of course, they would want to do this, but the questions, especially when it comes to nuclear, is what's in it for the two countries involved?
What's in it for the two countries involved? The French are South Africa's second biggest export market in the EU. And the French also, on the other hand, South Africa is the French's biggest partner in Africa. So the French, their main offerings are energy and pharmaceuticals. So they would like to get in and dominate the energy market. For South Africa, as you might know, experiences a frequent blackouts, and so it would be good for us to get baseload energy through nuclear. And for the French, obviously, they would like to dominate the market, as I said.
Now, a number of ministers were part of the conversations that were held by the president as well, one of them being Zweli Mkhize, the health minister. We know everything that's going around the health minister, but the president came out and spoke about him yesterday, saying that not until he's got a report will he make any sort of judgments. What does that, do for Emmanuel Macron, who's meeting the country's health minister, and yet there's controversy shrouded around him? Sbu, did you get that? Did you get that
I didn't get that question.
Right, and I just mentioned the fact that a number of ministers were with the president as they met the head of state from France. Now, one of them being Zweli Mkhize. We know everything that's happening around him. What does that do for the French president's confidence into the country to be met with a minister, alongside a minister who is shrouded in controversy at the moment?
Basically nothing. You must remember that the French will be signing agreements with the Republic of South Africa, not the minister. And so the French are pushing a corporate type of economic engagement throughout the continent, in fact, throughout the world. And so what they are looking for is for advantages for their companies. And so what would influence anything would be the availability of partners in South Africa who will partner with their companies. That's about it. Internal politics are won't matter that much to them, yeah.
So well, let's quickly touch on the security aspect. Of course, the main talking point was what's happening in Mozambique at the moment. What did you make of what the conversation was, or how the conversation unfolded in that regard?
Well, that's the main reason why the French are here in South Africa, in my view, because you will remember that Total signed with the Mozambican government a senior debt agreement of about 20 billion, 15 billion euros. That's about 205 billion rand. So now a senior debt agreement is where lenders have a first where lenders would get the first preference whenever a company fails to honor their obligations. And so now in these big deals, usually what happens is that the government would offer a guarantee, a payment guarantee. Now, with Mozambique being in that kind of, in the situation that they are in economically, they could not offer guarantees. And so what happened is that Total was the one that was risking. The financiers will now be looking at Total to recoup any monies that were lost. So the reason why the French then came to South Africa is for them to get South African backing in terms of security measures. Yes.
Now, so, you mentioned that Total, obviously, or the French want to make sure that Total or the investments are safe, but eventually Emmanuel Macron said it's up to Africa, it's up to the region to protect and to prevent what's happening in Mozambique at the moment. It kind of feels like counterintuitive, would you say?
It is, yes, it is counterintuitive. But then everyone has to secure their investments, and so that's about it, yeah.
Sibusonyati, thank you so much for your time. He is